Excellent. Excellent, we are live. Fantastic. Do you love these 1988 graphics? Look, here's everyone who worked on it. And I don't need to worry about the code word. Right, for everyone who will probably turn up and watch this at some other point, this is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, second edition, I think, rule set. The Pool of Radiance, made in 1988 by Strategic Simulations Incorporated on behalf of TSR. It is very old, and I have spent some time making a little party. Well, I say making. I've done the basics, and here they are. Skull Crusher is an NPC. You're supposed to find him later in the game, but I think in a previous game I managed to find him and then removed him from the party, and so he now exists here. So I could actually have Skull Crusher now from the start. G, I can't remember G, but the ones I created, I've got Arthur Hallow, Dan Danson, Sister Maya, Brother Stephen, Lana Blake, and Regis the Blue. So if I add them all, so I add Arthur, add Dan, add Maya, add Stephen, add Lana, add Regis. There we go. That is the party. You're only allowed 6 characters in the party, which is the standard, really. But I'm not going to go with just what we've got here, because look at those stats. Look at Regis's hit points. 2. Anything hits him, he's dead. Anything at all. So, I'm going to go in and I'm going to modify. So this is Arthur Hallow, you can see here. A lawful evil human character. You can tell he's lawful evil by his face. And I can modify stats. So I can put his strength as 3 if I wanted to, which means when he's punching someone, he does 1d2 damage minus 1. And that's not to a minimum. That is literally 0 to 1 damage when he punches someone. But I can stick him up to 18, which is 1d2 plus 2. But also, he's a fighter, so he gets exceptional strength. And all my characters are all human, because back in 2nd edition, humans were de facto the best. Elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings, they had racial bonuses, but only humans could actually achieve like level 20 or plus characters. Elves were like, oh yeah, we could be good mages, but everything else we cap out at like level 9. And so it was no point, if you wanted to have a long-running character, having anything other than a human. So strength 18, 00. His Thaco, which I suppose I should explain Thaco as well. Thaco is 2-hit armor class 0. And it rolls on d20, because all of this is all RNG based. So if he's punching someone, he would have to roll a 17 on a d20 in order to hit someone who's got an armor class of 0. However, what you do is you effectively subtract the enemy's armor class from your Thaco in order to find out what you need to hit. So, for example, armor class 10, which is the fairly standard armor class, means that if you deduct 10 from 17, you have 7. So that means he only has to roll a 7 to hit. Bit different to D&D these days. Not going to worry about intelligence or wisdom. Dexterity. I always put that because that means better armor class. Yeah, it's one of those things that it was just in the rules. It was just the way the rules were. humans were supposed to be the untapped potential, so they could get up to any level in they could get up to level 20 in anything, but they can't multi-class or dual class, so they are stuck as being a single class. Other species can multi-class, so you can have fighter, druid, fighter. Well, technically druids didn't exist; it was fighter, mage, fighter, cleric, fighter, thief, mage. They could meld the various different classes together, but they could never achieve the absolute top level that humans could. And the thing about multi-classing as well is you earn less experience, because unlike modern D&D, where you've got say you're level 3 and you need however many XP it is to go up a level, and you can go, oh, well, I'm going to go up a level from, I've got 3 levels in fighter, I'm going to take a level of cleric. You can't do that. You can't do that in this. If you wanted to be a fighter cleric, you would have to be quite probably an elf, I think, or a dwarf, and the XP you earned was split between those two classes. So each class would level independently because each class has its own experience bracket. So 1,000 experience gets you a level in rogue, but you have to get 2,500 to get a level in mage, for example. So there's lots of little things in there, but it was, if you were for a one shot game, it was, you could have any race you want. It was fine. But if you were going to have your characters going above level 10 in anything, or sometimes above level 8 in anything, you wanted to have humans. That was the only way to do it. Now I'm not going. Oh yeah, I remember why. I was going to say, not sure why his hit points is only 6. It's because I can actually modify his hit points. Hit points 14. So this is like the gold standard of a fighter. You want very high strength, very high dexterity, very high constitution. Everybody wants high dex and high con. High dex, harder hit. High constitution, more hit points. So go down to Dan Danson. Dan Danson, the 18-year-old neutral good fighter with white hair and a beard. So we're going to do exactly the same with him. We're going to slap his strength all the way up, because there's absolutely no reason to not do it. Other than, as I understand it, you face a few more monsters during encounters if you have higher stats, which is the way the game's balanced, but whatever. Sister Maya, my lawful neutral cleric. Strength. Clerics require wisdom, I believe. Let's get dex up, constitution up, and strength up, because she's going to need to be able to fight. There we go. And brother Stephen, the lawful good male cleric. You see here, very lawful good. He is the most lawful good looking character. They are. I mean, look at this, is 19, alright? So if I go out of him, that's 19-year-old. Brother Stephen's 19. Dan is 18. Arthur's 16. If we go down to Regis here, Regis is 26. But it just randomly gives you an age. And I'm like, alright then. There you go. So strength and wisdom, dexterity is really high, constitution, and give him extra couple of hit points. There we go. Lana Blake. Lana Blake's my rogue. She's 22. She's my rogue. Yeah, that's what she did a little bit. Rogue's not going to require strength, or intelligence, or wisdom. Dexterity, constitution. Because she is going to be Lady Bow. She's going to sit there and shoot stuff with a bow. And Regis the Blue, not going to worry about that. We want high intelligence, so he's got decent spellcasting, high dexterity, so people don't hit him, and high constitution, so if somebody does manage to hit him, he can at least take one hit. So it's a pretty generic looking party. 2 fighters to stand in the front line, 2 clerics to be backup and healing, 1 rogue to effectively be a ranged combatant, and 1 mage so that I can lob fireballs later. Yes. Well, keep in mind, these are level 1 adventurers. This is their first actual adventure, so this is what they look like before they've gone on any adventures. Imagine what they're going to be like after they've actually had an adventure. Anyway, we shall begin adventuring. Actually, no, I'm going to save the current game. I'm going to save the game in slot B. Begin adventuring. Greetings, courageous ones. Oh, sorry. Greetings, courageous ones. I am Rolf, appointed by the council to introduce newcomers to the fair city of Flan. If you will accompany me, I will start the tour. And that's the sound of walking. You now face an entrance to the Temple of Tyr. There are 3 temples in Flan: Tyr's, Soon's, and Tempus. Tyr's is the largest and houses Bishop Brachio. If you'll turn around now, you'll see the entrance to the passenger dock area we just departed. Few ships dare the perilous passage to here. The council is developing a plan to open up the sea lanes. Please follow me. Behind these doors are the special training schools where adventurers increase their skills. Let us now go to the city's most important building. We are just outside the city hall. Proclamations are posted on these walls. Inside, the city clerk awaits the council's commissions. Commissions are the quickest way to fame and fortune. On your right is one of the entrances to Soon's temple. As with all Flan's temples, various clerical services are offered inside. On your left is an entrance to the city park. Beyond this gate are the monster-ridden areas of the old city we are slowly preparing for settlement. The council offers a generous reward to those who clear areas of monsters. Our tour is ended. Again, let me urge you to apply to the city clerk for a commission. Goodbye and good fortune. You are on your own now. Welcome to the game proper. You can't actually see what I'm over here. I'm actually hanging over an area called Area, which is basically map. So area, and there you go. That's the map of Flan. And number pad to move around. So I've got turn left and right, and move forward and backward. Now I don't want to go through here yet because I am sorely ill prepared for combat. If I do, I think it's view. You can see down the bottom, I've got trade, drop, and exit. I have no items on any of these characters, which means if I go into the uncivilized areas, the unsettled areas, I will have the shit kicked out of me. Quite honestly, monsters will just beat the snot out of my entire party because they're all going in without any armor or any weapons, and go up against guys who have got armor and weapons. So I need to go to the shops. Now this is the city park, and there's absolutely nothing in the city park. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing in the city park. This is Tempus's building. Tempus. I think this might be a tavern, or it might be somewhere to sleep. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. But over here are shops. The shop specializes in arms and armor. Can I show you our wares? Yes. I shall put all my money in a big pool and now start buying equipment. So, like in modern D&D, various weapons have got various different statistics. However, in addition to their base statistics of this weapon does like a d6 damage, it's got a versus man size and versus large damage. So certain weapons are better versus large than others. The best weapon to get for overall usage is the longsword. So if I go down here, longsword, buy one longsword. I shall buy one shield. And banded mail is pretty good considering the price of plate mail and not being an awful lot better. So he shall buy some banded mail. Dan will buy the same. So next, buy longsword, banded mail, and a shield. Maya. Now I think he's going to use blunt weapons. So I think a flail is pretty good. Yeah, let's get a flail. And again, shield, and let's go for splint because hopefully they're not going to be frontliners. Buy that. Buy that. And buy that. Lana. Now, Lana is going to have a short bow as soon as I can find one. There we are, short bow. Because, like I say, she's going to be my ranged character. And classes can only... Well, again, like in modern D&D, certain classes have got access to certain weapons. Although modern D&D is basic weapons and martial weapons and exotic weapons. In AD&D, it is specific weapons themselves. Like mages can only use, I think, quarterstaffs, knives, throwing daggers, and slings. That's it. That's their entire repertoire. So it's not kind of a, if you're a mage, you've got access to basic weapons. You can have like a scythe or a sickle or something like that. Nope, none of that. I don't even think they can use clubs. So one short bow, and let's get a stack of 60 arrows. And I think studded leather is the best a rogue can equip. And Regis can have a quarterstaff because again, why not? Quarterstaff and darts are pretty cheap. So let's just go a whole bunch of darts. Share out the money. Everyone's got the equivalent of 10 platinum. Join them up. And ready the weapon. So there's a few, it's mechanically it's a little bit clunky. Ready. Can't ready those arrows. Can't ready the short bow. Wrong class. Oh dear. I've bought stuff that they can't use. Whoopsie. Thief's gonna have to. In that case, it's gonna have to be a sling then. Let's get a dagger. Where's sling? Sling. And just leather armor, maybe? Can't remember. Yeah! There we are. So I can't use studded leather armor. Let's sell it back. 7 gold. Yeah, fine. I'll get some of my money back for that. I forgot about that exact thing. Yeah. Flail, splint, shield. There we go. But this is all setting up the party ready to go. Well, mostly. I mean, I've not done any of the resting because you have to rest in order to be able to memorize spells, which you don't have to do in modern D&D. Modern D&D, you go, I got spell slots, and you automatically have them, and you can just go in and you go, yeah, cast spells, and then when you rest, you get your spell slots back. In AD&D, you have to memorize very specific spells. So, yeah, it's, Right. So there we go, there's the party. So -1 armor class on what are effectively going to move our front line, which means that they're going to be pretty hard to hit. Anything that's got a THAC0 of 20 is pretty much going to be unable to hit these guys. And these two will just stay at the back. You are by the gateway to the unsettled areas. The city watch eyes you suspiciously because we've just turned up. I should also say I can't change the audio, so apologies if it is a bit loud, but if I alt-tab out of this to then muck around with the OBS audio settings and then go back into it, it will reduce the size of my screen to like a 400 by 800. In fact, not even that, it'd be 400 by 650 up in the corner, and it'll be bloody hard to play. You have entered the monster-crawling slums of Flan. Small, ugly things scurry from beneath your feet. In the distance, an alarm sounds. Now, I've played this a lot, so I'm fairly familiar with where to go and what to do. Kobolds! You have surprised a party of kobolds. Now, I could talk to them. I could wait to see what they'd want to do. I could run away from them. Or I shall just fight. A battle begins. So here we are. These are my characters. I've handcrafted all these little sprites. They're all my party. And so if I go previous, so there we are. So that's effectively that's a kobold, 3 hit points, armor class 7. So my guys with their THAC0 of 17 require a 10 or more to hit. And here we've got kobold leaders with an extra hit point and an extra point of armor class. Now these guys all have bows. So it's a good job they're stuck in combat, because that means they can't use their bow. So Brother Stephen, move to there and attack. Missed. Sister Maya, attack. Missed. Dan Danson, attack. Dead. Lana Blake can move to there and just take a pot shot at this kobold. Missed. Arthur Hallow. Nice. Regis the Blue. Go to there so no one can hit you. And throw a dart. Nice. And this is go again. Nice. Sister Mayor. Missed. Dan Danson. Move and attack. Yes. Brother Stephen. Missed again. Shoot at the furthest one. Missed. Ow. Okay. Sister Mayor's has been hit for 4 points of damage. As you can see, the AI isn't exactly advanced. But, you know, it's 1988, so you wouldn't expect it to be very advanced. It's like, can I move towards the enemy? Yes. Am I in range to hit them? No. Do I have a ranged weapon? Yes. Shoot to the ranged weapon. That's it. Nice. Can you hit? You can. Missed. Oh well. 6 hit points on Sister Mayor. Nice. And they surrender. Continue the battle? No. The party has won. Each character receives 18 experience points. Now imagine, if you will, I had a multi-class cleric, fighter, mage in the party. Everyone else would get 18 experience points. They would get 6. That's why, although they can be powerful in the early game, as soon as if you complete Pool of Radiance and go on to Curse of the Azure Bonds, which is the second game in the series, which I will state that while BioWare think that it's absolutely revolutionary that you could take your character from Mass Effect and transport them into Mass Effect 2, in 1988, you could do that in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You could play this game, complete it, or not even complete it, just play it to max level, get Curse of the Azure Bonds, stick your party into the party pool in here, load up Azure Bonds, and take them out, and you've got a pre-made custom party ready to go in the very next game in the series. Right, so let's share out the loot and take that and a short bow, short swords, shield, studded leather armor. It's 7 gold. I suppose I can take the studded leather because that's good. Short swords are worth about 1. Shield is worth 1. So I'll leave that there. There is still treasure left. Do you want to go back and claim your treasure? No, I'm good, cheers. So that's combat. That's combat against the weakest opponent in the game. And I got hit once and took 4 hit points of damage. Doing great. However, if we go in here, several orcs are arguing over some papers. A battle begins. A much easier fight, this one. There's only 4 orcs to deal with. You just stopped by the guards and yelled at because they didn't have. Well, that's a fair thing to do, really. I mean, in modern D&D, when you create a character, you can just choose to have the default gear, and so you can have a bunch of equipment when you're starting off. Obviously, in this, it's a lot. It's a lot earlier in the game's evolution, so you didn't really have that kind of starting off package, as it were. When you created the character, you rolled your stats, you chose what class you were, and that was it. And you rolled randomly for the amount of gold you had, and then it was up to you to then spend that gold on what gear you wanted. Wow. Brother Stephen can't move much because he's got so much, carrying so much. I'm guessing his armor's very heavy. Missed. Just the mayor. You're gonna just stand still. Not a Blake. Missed. Regis the Blue. Can you hit this guy? You can. What? Missed. Oh. Arthur Hallow, the bare-chested man. Take them on. Nice. Dan Danson. Nah. Nice. Now Sister Mayor can get involved. Get Regis in here a little bit. Two hit points. Okay, so should be able to. There we are. Quickly finish them off. And put away the weapons before going out of town because they thought they would be stopped because they had weapons. All right. I mean, in most D&D games that I've been involved in, it's a matter of as soon as the players leave the towns, they get their gear out because there's monsters everywhere. It's just like every single one I've played is like, yeah, it's just monsters everywhere. It's like outside of town, it's a monster fest. Done that, done there. Guarding. Can you battle? No. 77 experience points. 77 XP for 4 orcs versus 18 for what was it? 12 kobolds. Orcs just give you so much more XP. Now let's just share out and see what there is to take. A clerical scroll with two spells. So I'll have Sister Mayor take that. Now, because this is a scripted encounter rather than a random, I believe because it mentioned, I think this is room anyway. Because it mentioned there are orcs arguing over some papers, and obviously, they found a clerical scroll. If I look, it's not in this one. Okay, there's some of them. If it comes up with a description, going, there's blah 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 is going on. You can look, and it will use up 10 minutes of time, and you'll find stuff. So it's been a while since I played this. Anyway, in camp, because it's time to memorize some spells. And the good old ones, cure, and cure. Memorize your spells? Yes. Memorize, cure. Because, quite honestly, curse isn't that useful. Bless, it gives you a +1 to hit. Detect magic, no. Protection from good and evil, no. Resist cold. I don't think I've actually ever fought anything that relies on cold. Ever in this, so no point. Memorize his spells, yes. Regis the Blue gets 1 spell. And to be honest, out of those, Detect Magic, Breathe Magic, Shield, and Sleep. Sleep is the best combat spell in the world for low-level characters. It is absolutely fantastic. Read Magic is good if you've got a magic scroll and you don't know what's on it. Otherwise, it's no good. Shield just gives you a bit of bonus to armor class, so if you wanted to go Battle Mage, then yes. But why would you go Battle Mage when you can get one punched by pretty much any kind of monster in the game? Sleep. Now rest. I shall rest for 4 days because that will give me 4 hit points back on Sister Mayor. All memorized. And healed. And save, game B. Quick disaster? No. So you are. That's a scripted encounter. And there are a few of them. And in those scripted encounter rooms, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but in the slums, if you encounter a scripted area room, you can rest in it without worrying about being attacked. And speaking of scripted encounters, the door is locked. Pick the lock. Failed. Okay. Bash the door down. A healthy-looking goblin is instructing a group of young warriors. He smiles and says, "I see our opponents have arrived." A battle begins. So here we are. There's the healthy-looking goblin leader. And I think he's got a bow on him. So... alright, hit. Sister Maya. Don't know if I really want to, but I'm gonna go to there. Brother Stephen, get stuck in. Nice. Can you hit him? You can. Oh well. I think someone just got hit, but it's going so quickly I can't tell. Arthur. Cool. He's not got a bow. Good. Oh, Dan Danson got hit. Oh dear. And you do have directional combat. There we go. So you see, if you catch it very, very quickly, I know it's kind of split second as it's up on the screen, but occasionally it will say a character is being attacked from behind, which I think deducts their shield armor class and potentially some more as well, so it makes them easier to hit. And they're surrendering! Yeah! I don't really have to do anything now, but I'm gonna... Nice. Continue the battle? No. 90 experience points. Goblins aren't worth as much. I shall share out the money. And what do we got? Leather armor, short swords, leather armor, studded leather. Might as well take all the studded. It's worth more than the swords. No, I don't want to go and claim my treasure. And rather than use a spell, I'll just... Actually, I could. Yeah, why not? Sister Maya. Cast Cure Light Wounds on Dan Danson. Okay. Cast it again on Dan Danson. Nice. Get those spells back. Memorize. Yes, and rest for 4.5 hours. Got my spells back. Now, I could go this way. You can't see my mouse because this is DOSBox and it's not a mouse-based game. But down the corner building has got a guy in it who wants me to do a job for him. So there's that corner, the bottom right corner, has a guy in it who wants me to do a job, which involves me going into the old rope guild. Now the old rope guild doesn't have a map in it and is a bit more dangerous when it comes to monsters. It also has an encounter with trolls. And if you know Dungeons and Dragons, you know trolls. And how irritating they are to actually deal with. Especially since I don't have any fire or acid damage spells or weapons. And trolls in, I don't know, I don't think it's the same in modern D&D, but in AD&D back in the 80s, if you killed a troll and you didn't do it with fire or acid damage, a number of turns after you've killed it, it would get back up again. So encounters with trolls were like, have you got anything with which they are vulnerable to? No, you cannot win this combat. It will just keep getting back up again and again and again until you put it down with either fire or acid. They were the worst. There's nothing over there. Nothing over there. There we go. By the way, the sky, you see the top changing every now and again. That's like I'm outside, and when it's white, that's I'm inside. That's all it is. I'll come over this way. You are being approached by some angry goblins. I shall combat them. Significantly more here than there were before. I don't want my rogue to get attacked. Now, cast sleep. Manual. Yeah. Modern D&D might well be like, as soon as it's dead, it's dead. But in AD&D, they had constant regeneration. Even when dead, they were constantly regenerating. It was just a nightmare. But yeah, I'm going to put sleep spell here. Right, that's half their force dealt with. As I can now, essentially, you see, they got helpless, so I can do this. Dead. Slain in one cruel blow. Just dead. Straight up dead. That's why sleep is the best combat spell for low-level characters and low-level encounters. You auto-hit and auto-kill. It's like, you're dead. Oh, mate, I got hit again. So this is now a considerably easier fight. Just because I've effectively went 6 of your attackers are now asleep, and I can kill them at my leisure. And he surrendered. Continue battle? No. 33 experience. Again, share all the gear, and take the leather armor. I can't take any more on Dan. He's full up. Okay. I'll take the arrows. And longbows. Can't take any more. You full up on space. Okay. In which case, you can take a longbow. And scale mail, that's probably worth a bit. Overloaded. Okay. Take the arrows. Take the scale mail. No, let's leave it like that. So, Sister Maya, yeah, got a movement of 3. It covers £2,093 worth of gear. I think it's the splint mail that's probably doing it. That's very, very heavy. If I unready that and ready scale mail, armor class 1. No, it's not worth it. Let's go back into, I think it was Arthur Hallow. 20 arrows, yep. Join those arrows up. Ready them. So Arthur can now shoot with a bow if he wants to. Failed to pick the lock. You burst into an elegantly panelled room. A small man sits hunched over a table by the east wall. He sets down his pen and gazes sternly at you. Well, he demands. Let us talk. I shall talk nicely to him. I may have a use for you, the man says. Some time ago, I ordered a special potion. The potion is ready, but I can't leave to fetch it. Bring it here. I pay well. I shall accept the commission. It waits in a booth in the Old Rope Guild, but a short distance to the southeast from here. You speak my name, Olo. I'm going to make a note of that because I might forget his name. Because again, in this there are when you talk to some species, you are being approached by some angry kobolds. Yeah, when you speak to some, instead of it being like, oh, how do you want to speak to them? It's like, what do you want to say? And you get to type in what you want to say. We shall let them advance. You're being approached by some angry kobolds. Let us combat these angry kobolds. Oh, look, one of your leaders is dead. That's my mage dead. You see how brutal AD&D is? My mage is now down on the floor because he got shot by 1 arrow, and he had 6 HP. So Lana Blake is going to dun and bandage so that Regis is no longer dying on the floor. Or Sister Maya might go down. One HP. Use. Turn, quick use. Clerical scroll. No. Done. Exit. No. Trying to remember how. I don't know if it can move, view, aim. Oh no, can't cast any spells because it's just been hit. Now I can cast. Cast Cure Light Wounds on yourself. Nice. And they're surrendering. Hooray! You battle no. 22 XP. Poor Regis. He took 1 arrow hit, and that was it. Dead. just gone. I mean, it wasn't like it was going to do an awful lot in the fight, but still, one shot and he was gone. Imagine if he only had 2 HP. It wouldn't have, that probably would have killed him outright instead of just being a matter of he's down and dying. But we'll take the studded leather armor. We'll take 20 arrows. Now, let's get some healing going on. Partially healed. Partially healed. Oh, my word. Fully healed. Yeah. Fully healed. And we're back here again. Now, area. Okay, yeah, I think I'm okay. I'll just bash through. Chunk. Now through here. The room is dirty and has a strong and unpleasant odour. Nothing of interest in here. But you have entered a very unclean stable. There is evidence that a large and untidy animal had lived here. Look. You find a long leather bag. Will you open it? Yes. The party has found treasure. Each character receives 233 experience points. And we shall share out any money and take 20 arrows and a short bow. Now, I believe that those 20 arrows and that short bow is magic. I think it's a +1. Now, let me just remember what I've got to do here. So the top left area, there's a fight with some hobgoblins in there. The oblong that's kind of almost directly to the left, so left and down a little bit, that oblongy bit there above the 2 squares, I believe that is a house full of orcs. To the bottom left of there, that's like got the long corridor is full of goblins, I think, and the square next to it has got a bunch of various monsters in it, including an ogre, various leaders. The old rope guild is almost directly to the south, and there's some stuff in there. And the big square is a marketplace. And I think the square to the north and then east of where I am, I think that has some monsters in it as well. So let's encamp. Save game. There, I think there's monsters in there. You're being approached by some angry kobolds. Let us try and kill these kobolds. Nice. Yeah. Ouch. Brother Stefan rather is in a little bit of trouble. Oh dear. Yay! Yes, the unfortunate thing is that clerics aren't particularly great in hand-to-hand combat. And while I could have gone 3 fighters, it does mean that I wouldn't have the healing available if I really needed it. And oh dear, my mage is out of ranged combat. He's out of ranged ammo. Have people been commenting on the stuff we talk about? I don't think they have, to be honest. I've not seen any comments actually on the videos themselves, and nobody's been talking to me about them directly. So I don't think anyone has actually been commenting. Yeah. Nice. What have we got? Quarterstaff. Ready it. Okay. Go, Regis. Yeah, won. Bravest mage ever. I shall get involved in combat. Yeah, I know it can. To be perfectly honest, I don't really see people comment on a lot of my videos anyway. If I do video or streaming, it's the most comments I seem to get these days are bots going, here's a timestamp, go and visit this website. Which, isn't exactly useful. Share everything. Take the leather. And also take the arrows. No. Right, I think what I'm going to do is head back to town. Actually, should I? No, let's not worry about resting here. I will rest in here, however. Magic memorize. Memorize one sleep spell. Yes. And you magic memorize some cure light wounds. Yes. And you memorize some cure light wounds. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. I mean, if you want to, I've kind of at the stage where if people do, it's fantastic, and I reply to them, or I just kind of give them a little like or something. If people don't, then it's up to them, really. If they don't want to, they don't have to. And if the algorithm is going to respond to one comment, then well, it would be nice. But again, it's like, well, is it going to make an awful lot of difference, to be honest? When you get channels with hundreds of thousands of people and thousands of comments on, to be perfectly honest, is one comment on one stream going to shift anything I do significantly towards that end of things? So while it's a nice offer, I can't imagine it having much of an effect. And people are free to say whatever they like on my videos. I don't mind at all. I mean, YouTube might. I don't. It's night time. Oh, this ain't good. Let's go through here. Right, now, this is view. How many XP? 530. Okay. I don't think anyone's got enough XP to go up a level. And all the shops are going to be closed. So that means I have to find somewhere to rest. That might be a tavern. Own camp. Save. No. Exit. You're in a tavern. The air is filled with smoke and gossip. People are gambling at the tables. Does anyone wish to gamble? Yes. The game works like this. Spin this top. If the green side comes up, you get double your money back. If a blue side comes up, you get your money back. If a red side comes up, you lose. Who will gamble? The rogue will gamble. You have 9 platinum pieces. How many platinum pieces will you wager? 2. It's blue. Will you go again? No, thank you. Places around. Again, these are... Door is locked. Do you want to break in? No, because that will summon the guard. And, don't want to summon the guard. You're in a tavern. Anyone want to gamble? No. Over here, Tavern Tale 23. I'm not going to bring up the book again because it would just ruin the entire stream if I could. But I will, I would read out the Tavern Tales. Oh, shoot. Let me just have a quick drink here. Because I was not hoping this would happen. Ugh, this is not nice. Yeah. A lot of it is nostalgia, really. This is one of the first video games I ever played, and I love it to death because again, it was my entry. It is very much kind of it's how best to describe it. Really, it's very faithful to the game at the time. Yes, it's not what you would consider a modern game. It's not a great modern game in that, when you got the icons up in the corner, you've got like a 3 or 4 frames of animation on the attacking icons. And those monster icons were all taken from the monster manual at the time. They're all transplanted straight in here and then colored and then animated. The ability to semi-customize your characters in so much as you can change the way you change what they're wearing on their portrait. You can change their face. You can do quite a few changes to their icon. Again, they were very. This is pretty groundbreaking in its day. You got to imagine that when this came out, you had things like Commander Keen, and everything was like bitmap style stuff. And so you might have a character that would bounce around the screen and fire little yellow balls everywhere, and the amount of processing power required out of the machines that were running these was quite impressive. I mean, this game itself, you needed 4 floppy disks, I think it was at the time, to actually play the game. Every now and again, when you go to different areas of the game, it would say eject the disk and put a new one in, because that part of the game is not on this disc. It's too big for the floppy disk at the time. So when people wax nostalgic about Final Fantasy VII and how it was on 2 or 3 discs, however many discs that was. Like, it's so big, it's on multiple discs. This was exactly the same. It was so big that it was on multiple floppy disks to actually put in and play it. And yet now it's like 5 minutes of download, and that's it. It's the entire game. 5 minutes, bang, done. So it's very much a game of its time, of its era, but rather than it just kind of be limited to that, it's still, I mean, as you can see, it's still perfectly playable today. If you remember when I was doing Master of Orion 2, when we went into the combat of that game, everything just went so quickly that it was effectively, the tactical combat was unplayable. There's nothing you could do. So everything has to be kind of auto resolved. Because just scrolling around is too fast. Because this doesn't use a mouse. It's before. This was like Windows 3, I think, might have been out. This is DOS. This is running straight on DOS. There's no mouse support. It's all keyboard, and it still works fine. You can alter the game speed if you want to. You can put it to a level where it was what you're expecting to play at. But that, again, I could slow everything down. But that, again, would drag everything out. I could speed everything up, but then you wouldn't see what's going on, and you wouldn't get enough feedback. And yeah, it's not flashy action that you get these days. But I mean, everyone's got their favourite games, right? I'm just going to hit enter on this because Tavern Brawl, I'm probably going to get wiped out here. As you can see, I'm on my side. I've got some allies, and I'm fighting a whole bunch of guys. I'm probably going to get mangled. Yeah, everyone's got their games. I mean, you're a lot younger than me, so you'd have a different appreciation for the sorts of games that I grew up with, and I'd have a different appreciation of the sort of games that you grew up with. I mean, early. Let me think. Early 2000s. So turn of the century. I would have been. That was college. So again, I just got a PC. I was still using dial-up modem, and I was in college in 2000. And that was kind of when I was getting into MMOs, because those were starting to come to the fore around that time. But it's all. I can still look back on games like this, games like Dungeon Keeper, Diablo, Warcraft 1. I mean, yeah, they don't stand up graphically these days. And yes, a degree of it is still that nostalgia, but you can still play a lot of them and and have fun. I've got games sitting in a pile that were for the Xbox that I can't play anymore because backwards compatibility was taken out. But I can still play these, and I'd prefer to play these than the stack of Xbox stuff I've got. I need to unequip his sling. and equip his dagger. Yes, those are magic arrows. Okay. Well, that's my rogue down. Done. Bandage the rogue. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, if this was in if this was in a modern D&D game, right, or even just like Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale, all this would all be happening simultaneously. But because of the limitations at the time, and the way the way D&D actually runs, it's all turn-based. So in that way, it is kind of more. It is more faithful to the source material, but I mean, yeah, it's slower, and to a modern audience, yeah, it's like, why are you playing this? It's it's not as attention grabbing maybe as many other games. Yeah, again, like I say, what you grew up with is what you grew up with. I was lucky enough, again, because of the time I was born, I'm lucky enough to have been able to get in on this early era of PC gaming, as well as the early console gaming. You know, I had access to Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Mega Drive, which is a Genesis in America, I think. Super Nintendo system, we had that as well. But we didn't kind of go beyond that here in my house. We as soon as we kind of got to that, that's kind of where it kind of tailed off as a household. And later on, when I started working in retail, I'm going into my whole life story here. When I started working in retail, it was that point that I got a 360. I got bought an Xbox first. I can't remember why I bought an Xbox. It might have been for Halo. But I bought a 360. And I had some fun with that whilst I was working in retail. And I've got I didn't get the PlayStation, but I have got a PS3. Or is it PS4? Hang on. Funny shaped, squarey-ish white one. Maybe it's It's probably a PS4. I imagine it's a PS4. I don't know. See, this is how long I've actually used it. I've forgotten what even type of console it is. I know it's a PlayStation. Beyond that, I don't know. I don't actually know what console it is. I've got it's sitting under my desk. Continue battle, no. 114 XP. I should take a share of everything. It's the City Watch. City Watch charges in. Do you run away or stay to confront them? Hmm. A bunch of level 1 adventurers, one of which is currently unconscious and 2 others are severely wounded. Should I take on the City Watch? How about no? How about I don't fight the City Watch, thank you very much. I'm going to run away. Do you stay to fight the City Watch? One platinum piece to rest here. Yes. Arthur Hallow will pay the platinum piece. And we're going to rest for 8 days. There we are, fully healed again. Blast, I should have stayed, shouldn't I? Right, I'm going to stick search on and just do a bit of wandering backwards and forwards because that's going to use up time. Yeah. Well, again, I'm an older gamer, so I guess that's kind of where it went into. It's it is a difficult subject. Why do older gamers rant about how great games used to be and how they're not? You should go and play these old games, not new ones. I guess it's similar to any form of entertainment, really. I would say that I'm just going to not play this now. I'm just going to have a chat. When I was younger, a lot younger, I was in secondary school. I used to love watching the when it came on Sky TV. I used to love watching Skeleton Warriors and BattleTech, 2 animated shows that were on in the late 90s, right? I always thought they were fantastic. Now, last year and into this year, Renegade HPG is another channel, has been putting up remasters of, not commercial remasters, but these are just remasters that I think Renegade HPG and someone else from Twitter have basically just done digital upscaling on the original BattleTech show, and they've been putting them up on YouTube. And I'm watching them, and I was like, yeah, I can remember the nostalgia of. I've got that nostalgia kick of sitting and watching these things. But then it kind of went on and on, and got onto the last episode, and I was thinking, why do I remember liking this? The last episode was just not very good. I mean, it's giant mech combat all throughout it, sure, but the final episode is just kind of a duel between 2 guys that lasts for about 15 minutes. I was like, am I remembering this wrong? Because I can remember liking it, but am I remembering that liking wrong? And I tried to watch the first episode of Skeleton Warriors, but I couldn't get past the opening. Just like the very 90s opening and theme music I couldn't get past that to get into the episode to actually watch it. But again, it's something I used to watch whenever it was on. I used to love watching it, but now after what 25 odd years, I can't watch it anymore. I just don't have. I can't engage with it now. It's different when it comes to Transformers for me. Again, that was 1984 when I first watched that. It's again very formative thing in my when I was very young. Very formative show for me. I still love them. I can still go back and watch those early episodes, those early seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Transformers. But it's a very different feeling I get now of doing that, because I can go back and watch them, and I can, where it's just pure entertainment and wow, look at this! This is fantastic. These are robots that transform into vehicles and things, and they're having battles, and it's great, and it's fantastic when I was watching it when I was little. And now I go back and I'm watching it again, and I think the plans that Megatron comes up with episode after episode from season 2 and season 3 are just absolute nonsense. It's like, why? What? How did you even think of this would be a plan? I get it's a very much a kids show, designed around selling, to sell toys, but it's like, if you go into it as an adult and you look at things with a critical eye that you used to love when you were little, you're like, why? Well, I don't understand. Like, for example, one story in, I think it's season 2, which is before they start having lots of crazy adventures up in space. The whole thing revolves around a human character called what was his name? It was a very like Hispanic character, very kind of Mexican-y. Raul, that was it. There's a guy called Raul, and the Autobot called Trax, and various things happen in the episode, and you find out that the Decepticons have got a plan to get a whole bunch of car thieves to nick as many cars in New York as they can and take them off to this factory place where they chop them up and turn them into drones. They turn them into armed taxi battle drones and just have them driving around the city. It's like, why? How is this a plan? You're just stealing cars, sticking guns on them, putting rudimentary AI in them, and driving them off. How is this a plan to take over the world? How is this a plan to get energy to revitalize Cybertron? How is this a plan to do anything other than just piss off the motor industry? It's like, and it just goes against what you remember when you're that kind of age. And again, when it comes to games, if anybody, by the way, if anyone comes in and just like watches the end of this, they're just gonna get like 15 minutes of sitting staring at the storefront as I talk. But yeah, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, as a game for me, that's quite a late game, but younger people today will probably look at that. IRA might have, maybe they might have done, yeah. It's very American though, so I don't know if the IRA would, because it was all done in America. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Some people, younger gamers nowadays, because that hasn't been out very long, they might look at that and go, "It's a brilliant game." You look at everything you do in it, the character customization, the story, and everything. And I look at it and I go, I didn't have any fun playing it. it was a matter of I'm gonna go in, actually gonna go into the room now. There we are. Oh shit! This is a tavern. No, get out of the tavern. Shoot. Let's try this one. Arms and armor, yes. Yeah. I looked at it and everyone's like, "Wow, yeah, this is great. You've got robot dinosaurs everywhere, and you got nature taking over, and it looks fantastic." And I went in and yeah, I've got videos on it. You can go back and watch the videos of me going, "Why does this robot exist? What is the reason behind this robot being designed to look this way?" You know, it's like there's an AI that's building robots in order to, I think it was like, bring back the natural world, you know, help nature recover, right? And it's like, but why would it design robots to look like deer and raptors and cephalopod, you know, big dinosaurs? Why would it do that rather than using logic to determine what is the most effective means of locomotion, most effective size and method of maintenance? You know, it's like, oh yeah, it's the deers were designed to go around and make sure that the grass doesn't get too long, and so all the grass is maintained at a certain level and seeding and everything. It's like, well, why didn't it just, instead of building things with all those moving parts and mechanics and everything in it, why didn't the AI just build lawnmowers? It's, you know, it's more effective. Just build lawnmowers and let them go out and maintain all the grass. Uh, it's like, it's spectacle. It's kind of like, you look at something, and again, younger people are probably looking at it and go, "It's fantastic! All these robot animals everywhere." Like I went on with robot cars with Transformers because that was my youth. But I look at new stuff and I'm like, but why? Where's the logic behind this machine designing things this way? And I think you get told very much later in the game the story behind everything and why stuff happened. But by that point, it's like I've lost interest because I've gotten to the point of just going, well, none of the quote unquote wildlife that I'm seeing around has any reason to exist the way it does. Sure, zero shite. Yeah, it's like, yeah, fine, it's there, but why is it there? Does it, if it's designed by a machine, if it's designed by an artificial intelligence which should be working on logic, why has it designed things that would be less efficient in operations? That's just my, that's my thoughts on. Oh shit! No, that's magic armor. Fucking hell, I'm not saying that. Uh, yes. Scale mail. 7 for scale mail. It's not bad. Trade that to Dan. Sell, yes. Trade to Dan. I think my rant's over now, by the way. I can't think of anything else to rant on. You can't use that, so you trade that to Dan. Sell the short bow. That is probably a magic one. Yeah, that's a magic short bow. Can you... Oh, you can ID that. ID. 200 gold pieces. Yes. Not enough money. Okay. Exit there. Study leather armor. Sell. And trade that to Dan as well. I want a lot more darts. Yeah, there's... I saw something a long time ago, right? Which was all about the psychology of why do you like things that you grew up with, and people have said that was this 25? Oh no, this is a regular one. Okay. It's like, why do people like certain things when they were younger and continue to like things as time goes on? Why, like I say, me and Transformers, why do I love Transformers? And they were like, oh, well, essentially, when you're younger, and your brain's still effectively growing, certain things can have a greater impact on that developing brain than others. Not enough money. Can I sell 50 gold? I better hang on to them. Let's give that to you. Yeah, so it's like different stuff will have an impact on you in different ways. And where am I going with this? So it's all kind of based on the formation of the mind and what's happening when you're youngin'. Various different things all have an impact on you when you're growing up, and so you are more likely to like stuff that is something you enjoyed when you were younger, and it's going to stick with you more than stuff when you're older. Yeah. I suppose you can see about when the concept of zero came around, people probably went, "What is this nonsense? What are you talking about? Zero? What is this? It just doesn't make sense. You can't count an absence of something. If it's not there, you just don't count it. What is this nonsense of zero?" But yeah, the way the brain grows when you're young, it means that they said something like that you're more likely to have certain things have a lasting impact on your brain when you're young. So older people who played older games, if they played them in a certain age, will probably have those almost imprinted on themselves as something that they, if they enjoyed it, it'll be there in their consciousness as something that they remember enjoying. Seedy looking orcs. Let's be abusive towards them. Let me give you a piece of advice, the leader says. Stay away from the textile house. The undead are going crazy up there. The monsters turn to leave. Yeah, I'll let them go. You're surprised, the party of orcs. The monsters flee. But yeah, there's a lot of psychology involved in it. I'm not a psychologist. You're surprised, the party of orcs. The monsters flee. They've locked the door again. in camp and save the game. Save B. No. Yeah, and yeah, I mean it's beyond my beyond my ability to properly explain what happens and why things happen and why certain people. I mean, I love older games. Again, it's probably if you go from a psychological aspect, probably because it was what I played when I grew up with them. I'm not so much a fan of the new Super Mario games. They're 3D jumping around everywhere, as I am of the Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2, because Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2 is what I grew up with. Those are imprinted on me. Let's go in here and fight some kobolds. You interrupt some feeding kobolds. Nice. Use. There's a lot of feeding kobolds. Wow. Yeah. You can't always assign Warhammer sensibilities to fantasy orcs. Besides, 40k orcs will run away. But it's not a loss when they run away, because they survived and can come back later to fight again. So it's not a loss. But it's simple mechanics in this. If you surprise someone, you can make them run away. Essentially, you can just make them flee. And if the opponent is not looking aggressive, then you can potentially talk to them, like I did with the original. So we're just like, they're seedy looking, they're a bit dodgy. It's like, yeah, let's just be aggressive towards them. And certain species respond better to certain communication types. So something that a bugbear, for instance, if you go up to a bugbear as a level 1 and you start trying to be aggressive towards it, it's just going to punch you in the face. But if you're meek towards it, acknowledging that it is bigger than you, and go along with its thought of it's probably stronger than you, then it might leave you alone. Yeah. Nice. Flawless battle. Share out the goods. What do we got? Short sword. Oh, bracers. Take those. They're magic. And nothing around here. Okay. Save B. Yeah, if you thought that, original Fallout, again, I love original Fallout. I love it over the Bethesda stuff. But you're surprised party of orcs. Run away, orcs. If you thought that original Fallout was, it was unforgiving because it's got no autosave feature in it. This doesn't have autosave in it. The autosave wasn't a concept during these times. You have to manually save. And if you don't manually save for a long time and your party gets wiped out, that's it, you're done. You've entered a small storage room. There is nothing in the small storage room. However, if I bash my head against this wall, I have stumbled into a treasure trove. Share out the loot. Magical arrows and magical shortbow. And if we go in here, there are hobgoblins. Look at these samurai hobgoblins. Don't you just love them? All the animation, that's the entire animation, is those 3 frames there. Some hobgoblins are arguing over a pile of gold. Thieves! They scream when they see you. In a modern game, that'd all be, that'd all be voice. Ouch. Some people, I imagine, would also say that older games are harder, right? And it's the difficulty of those older games that makes them fun. Same reason why people play Dark Souls. So it's the difficulty that makes it a fun experience. Although it's a different kind of, I would say it's a different kind of difficulty, really. Nice. The cleric killed someone. Done. Quit. Done. Quit. There we go. Share out the gold. Long swords, not worth it. Now if I look, you find a large amount of treasure. Share it out. A ring and a short bow. Yeah. Probably. Again, because of the age of when this was done, they were probably looking just for different styles of doing different monsters in, and so you get that kind of a bit of a mix here and there of different stuff, and it's like somebody probably thought, yeah, let's go with that kind of look, and when they updated, it didn't stick. The kobold look has changed a lot as well. Whenever you see the kobolds turn up, they've got a much different look. Oh yes, I'm gonna go back to town. Yeah, see that? They're very kind of dog-like, aren't they? You've got that dog look to them. But modern kobolds look a lot more draconic than dog. It's something that's changed as time's gone on. Kobolds can flee away. Thank you, kobolds. Goodbye. City Watch eyeing me suspiciously once again. Now, have I got enough money? I think it's 1,000 gold. Might not have enough. Let's nip to the shops. This one will do. Yes. And sell my short bows. There we go. 2 magic short bows sold. That should be enough money to level up characters. Notices for teachers and students are posted on the walls. A note directs magic users and clerics to go north, and fighters and rogues to go east. Sign on the wall directs magic users to go through the east door and clerics through the west. All the trainers look like this, by the way. We train only clerics here. Do you want to train? Yes. Now I shall save again, because this is a point in the game where essentially it is RNG, because you cannot tell the game to roll max hit points or even take average hit points. It will randomly roll. So, I mean, there's nothing stopping you loading, save load, save load, save load. But yeah. I'll give you an example. So, Sister Maya here, all right? 2,500 XP. I think it only costs like 1,500 for clerics to level up. Train character. So she's got 10 HP, right? They go train. Training costs 1,000. Okay. So view, trade to Maya. All of the platinum. And Sister Maya, train, level 2 cleric, 19. I could, if I wanted to, save and load until she gets 20 HP. But, 19 is pretty good. I would be sitting here for absolutely ages if I did that. Or while I can do it on a modern computer, if I had to do this on a computer it was originally built on, I would be sitting here for hours until I get that roll that I'm after. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna say end stream, right? Because it's almost been 2 hours that I've had this up. 1 hour 47 it says down on the bottom of the screen here. And I'm fairly sure that while this is D&D, it's not a game that you yourself, you didn't play this when you were young, and so there's less. I imagine you got less interest in this than certain other games. And although I do appreciate you coming along, and every single stream you're always here, just like having to hang around in a chat. I've got to take into account if you're having, if you're enjoying it, or just kind of sitting here and just going, well, whatever, just listening, which again I don't mind. And I know I tried to play through, I know I tried to play through Valkyria for you, but again I was like, I just don't find it fun. I honestly didn't find it fun to play. But if next week I've got a whole bunch of other games, right? If anything else I've got that you like, hey, yeah, I'd like to see you play through that, then yeah. If there's anything else that I've got that you go, hey, yeah, I'd like to see you play that, then say to me, all right? Otherwise, next week will just be some other random stuff that I come up with. I'll just be like, yeah, let's play this. Why not? I have a couple of hours playing this. But I'm gonna, if I exit to DOS now, so I exit DOS, yes, you're gonna see the screen go to my desktop. Well, not my desktop exactly, because I've set it to not do my desktop, but instead have GOG. Because I didn't want people to see my desktop and all my icons and shit over there. So I've done it. So I just went, yeah, you can have this. And you can see here how much I like the game, in that I've played a total of a full day on here. Yeah, Yeah, I love the game. You don't. um, but yeah, between now and next week, uh, if there's other games, I mean, if I go on here, I've got mine installed on GOG, right? So this is what I've got physically installed on GOG. You can see a lot of old games. I've got Diablo, Dungeon Keeper, Eye of the Beholder, Fallout, Battlefront, Settlers, Pool of Radiance, Orion, Epic 40k. It's that is old. I don't think that runs very well anymore. Warcraft, Fire Warrior, Original Doom, Arcanum. I've got lots of old games here. If I've got my owned games, you got Daggerfall, Dragonsphere, Fallout 2, more D&D stuff. The new Master Rhyme, which does run a bit better than that. Planescape Torment, which is a very, 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 very fucking good game. More Settlers. You got Populous, Pools of Darkness, Ultima down here, Warcraft 2, Warhammer Mark of Chaos, which I got for some reason. I don't know why, because I've not played it. But if it's a game you see either on here or on my Steam list, that you think, hey, yeah, why not play that? I'd like to, sit down and play it with you, and I'll honestly tell you if I like it or not. And if it's installed, I probably do like it, and we'll go from there for next week. But you can clearly see, other than these ones here that got free written on them, you can clearly see the types of games that I really enjoy. It's these classics. I grew up with them, so they're my classics. Yeah, it's Elder Scrolls, isn't it? Yeah, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. I could play that if you want me to. I'll fucking play Daggerfall. I've never played it before. I've got no idea how good I'll be at it, but I'll play it if people want me to. I can't remember why I got Daggerfall. I think I just got it somehow, somewhere. I don't know. Not Master Ryan 3 though. Master Ryan 3 is shit. It's a spreadsheet manager. It's these people who like Pro Evolution Soccer Manager, which is not actually playing the game. It's just sitting and managing spreadsheets and watching things play out in front of you. So I don't like that. I don't like that sort of game at all. I thought when Master Ryan 3 was going to come out, that was supposed to be brilliant. Then it's like, part of shit. Miles different from Master Ryan 2. Yeah. If you want to see my Steam list as well, I'll send you over my Steam list. I've got loads on there, installed and not installed. I've got hundreds on my Steam list. But yep, I'll hit end stream. 3, 2,